episode number 8.
That's right.
The format of this is we answer listener questions and mostly my questions, and David responds to them off the cuff.
We respond to them.
Well,
And we're doing it a little bit differently this time. We will actually timestamp the questions. So as we go through, Allison will talk about what the questions are at the start, and then as we answer them, I'll make sure that when I post it to YouTube, you can actually find the clips that are about whatever you're specifically interested in.
if you don't want to look at us, this is also available as a podcast.
But we did put on clean shirts just for this video, so.
Well, we're matching.
Isn't that cute?
He's so cute. Okay, so here are the top 5 questions. Let's talk about Cardi B's new song. And do you think it helps liberate women sexually?
Okay.
It's called WAP. Or WAP.
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to you telling them what it means.
Wet.
We have to blank that out for you too. Keep going.
Okay. How do we stop people from stealing your light? This is question number 2.
Okay.
Question number 3 is identify energy vampires and what to do about them. Question number 4 is what are annoying habits of other couples that irritate you the most? And question number 5 is what is the best relationship advice you've ever gotten? Let's do it.
All right. So we'll start now with WAP or WAP or however you pronounce that.
I don't know. I'm uncomfortable saying it. I really hope you bleep it out.
I will. All right. So Cardi B has a song, which I actually, if you've heard the song, I think the song is good. It's Billboard Top 100. It is, I mean, the media is over the top about how it is doing a great job of, being sex positive for women, right? Like she's owning her femininity. What do you think? Have you watched the video?
I watched the video. It's hard for me to be like, oh, this was really liberating when like the chorus in the background you hear is there's some whores up in here. There's some whores up in here. And I'm like, is that what we want? Is that sex positive? Because whores have been used to demean women. That term whore is a demeaning term. And so like I'm struggling with being like, oh, this really helps with sex positivity.
Okay, can I play devil's advocate?
Okay.
It is, first of all, nothing that was said in that video was any different than what her male counterparts sing about in their video. And there's not nearly the level of hoopla around them speaking that way. Like her video wasn't any more, or the content there wasn't any more grotesque or intense than what,
But to me, it's like the equivalent of calling someone a bitch. Like it's not a nice term to, like a whore is not a nice term to call somebody. And it's through generations and it has been used to demean women.
But isn't she, by her owning it, by her taking that term and by her profiting off of it, and by her essentially acknowledging in the song that she likes to be that way and that she benefits from that and that men should serve her, right? The video is, or the song is about how she wants men to fulfill her needs. She is now in the assertive position. She's no longer being mistreated, right? She's not being the man's object. The man is now the object. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like it's a generational gap for me. It's just, I mean, maybe you're right. Like it is that, and I do like that aspect of it, but it just seems like it misses the boat by like going back again to the demeaning of women.
You feel like she's
like, I'm glad that she felt comfortable like dancing the way she wanted to dance and like wearing what she wanted to wear. I do think that was positive, and talking about her needs sexually, but I can't get past the whore terminology.
The whore's up in here. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty. If you haven't watched the video, you should watch the video. It's pretty. I mean, it's a pretty intense video on YouTube, and I do think the song is catchy. So I'll play the devil's advocate and say that I understand why she's getting praised for the sex positivity. On the other side of it, here's what I would say is, to me, it doesn't seem like it really is sex positive in the way that the media is saying that it is. I don't think that it really is good for women. I still think that she is objectifying herself and objectifying the people around her, and I don't know that she would really represent that song or the content in that song really is good for women as a whole. Certainly she is demonstrating that she can talk about sex just like men can, and I think that piece of it should be praised. But it is a weird thing that our media is elevating that song and elevating Cardi B as though she has really broken boundaries. And I don't mean, this is not Amelia Earhart. You know what I mean? Like this is. I think we have to have some perspective around what did she really accomplish, and I think what she really accomplished was duplicating what a lot of people would say is kind of gratuitous sexuality by male musicians. Like I don't know why it's, I don't know why it's that powerful. I wouldn't say it's a revolutionary song.
I didn't feel empowered after I listened to it.
No.
It wasn't like, it wasn't a pump me up song for me.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so let's get into some deeper questions. How do you stop people from stealing your light or being a dream crusher?
So this is your question. Mm-hmm. So say more about what you mean. Why did you ask that question? What do you mean? What's the context for it?
Well, I feel like there's people in the world that, no matter what you do, they always have a reason why you shouldn't do it. Or, like, you're excited about an idea, and they always have to, like, they try to dim it. Mm-hmm. Am I that for you?
What? No.
I don't want to be a dream crusher, but sometimes I find myself being one.
Sometimes I feel like I think you do. You're a good reality tester for me.
But am I a light dimmer?
No, you're not a light dimmer. You're like, hey David, you got to pay for the electricity to make that light go on. There's a really good quote by, I don't know who the quote is by. I heard it from Casey Neistat, and I don't know if it's actually his quote or not. But it's something like, don't let the people saying it can't be done get in the way of the people that are actually doing it. And I think it's a really good quote, because the people oftentimes in your life that will tell you that you can't do something, or that you shouldn't do something, or that what you're doing is stupid, are people that have not done what you're trying to do. So if you think about it, for example, if I'm trying to start this YouTube channel, we're trying to start this podcast, the people that will look at this and say, this is a waste of time, are all people that have not started podcasts or done a YouTube channel. Versus if you went and looked at people that have actually started successful podcasts or successful YouTube channels, they'll probably say, hey, be consistent, right? They'll give some advice that validates what you're doing, versus the naysayers, they're always the ones that haven't done it.
They're never the ones that are in the arena. They're always the peanut gallery.
Yeah, they're the fans that are judging. They're not actually there.
Yeah. And why, in their opinion, shouldn't really matter that much.
Yeah, I guess that's the next piece of it is, how do you stop them from stealing your light, or how do you stop them from dissuading you? I think the answer is to take perspective. Like, do you really care what those people think?
Today, I decided to tell anyone that I felt was dimming my light that they were dimming my light.
How does that go? Have you done that? Did anybody receive that from you today? Did you?
My mom did.
Your mom did. I do feel like, not in my case, but I do feel like for a lot of people, family dims the light. Because they have good intentions, right? They want the best for you. They want the best for you. They want to protect you from risk. But family can be it's the judgment you care most about, and they are the most worried about you, so they will always or frequently they'll default to the more conservative side of things.
And I don't think they want to see you hurt.
Yeah.
So it's like a way for them to protect you from failure, but really you have to fail.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
So maybe when I'm dimming your light, you can think of that in a positive way.
You don't dim my light. I swear, you do not dim my light. I do think that you are. I don't think that you have, and I hope I have never told you no about some pursuit.
No.
You've never. I do think that you say like, hey, maybe let's pay for one thing at a time in your, because I can be a little bit intense. So she will. I think you're good at setting like milestones.
Oh, I like milestones.
By the way, if it was up to me, the video quality would be a lot better, the sound quality would be better, the lighting would be better, and my editing would be, we have to get a new mortgage, but this video would be a banger. But we're waiting, we're patient, right?
Okay, so along the same lines, how do you identify a energy vampire? And what do you do about it?
I feel like there's a tone to your question. Is there someone that you're dealing with now? First of all, I love the term energy vampire.
There was a woman I worked with that was so negative. Like you would talk to her and then you would instantly feel like low energy after. Like everything was bad. The sky was constantly falling. You know, so you would meet her in a really good mood and you'd leave being like...
Yeah, but the difference between the energy vampire and the person that's stealing your light, I think there's a big difference between those two people. The person who's stealing your light is intentionally saying, stop that, right? Versus the energy vampire, I think, is saying, care for me, right? Or worry about me, or my life sucks right now, so I need support. Right, they're energy vampires because they are sucking all the energy. They need the energy.
They have like a tad of narcissism.
I don't think they have a
little touch.
No, I don't think so. They're just. I think they're probably less happy people.
Yeah.
Right. They're not trying to be selfish. They're just less happy, and so they need the support. And I think it goes back to what we talked about in one of these videos a while ago. Is you want to surround yourself by people that give you energy. Like to me, the key is you should be constantly auditing that circle and to make sure that you feel good after you leave interactions with your friends. If you're leaving interactions with your friends and you ask yourself, am I happy that I had that conversation? If the answer is consistently no, maybe find a new friend. You know what I mean? You should be curating that so that you are constantly being
like
motivated.
Uplifted and excited. And yeah, I mean, I think we talked about gossip, but I feel like gossip can be an energy suck. Mm-hmm. And also just like talking about energy in general, because how do you have energy all the time? I feel like every day you have to monitor what gives you energy. And I mean, that's diet, that's caffeine intake, that's exercise. And so, and the people in your lives.
Yeah, there's another piece of this, which is, and I guess it wasn't a specific question, but I do think that there is a quality to, there's often a quality to happy people, which is they're very intentional about how they structure their life. They're intentional in how they eat. They're intentional in how they exercise, how they approach work, how they approach their relationships, how they approach their friend group, right? All of those things, they structured that world so that it supports them. And if you think about, just as a side note, if you think about what a therapist does, a big part of what a therapist does certainly is listens and sort of helps with the way people think. And another big part of it is helping the client get an environment around them, cultivate a world around them that is supportive and creates happiness or reduces anxiety. And so you should be doing that yourself. Be thinking about, well, what are all the things around me that are energy vampires? And it may not just be people. It could be the fact that you're up late watching TV, or not exercising, or eating like crap, or all those things can be energy vampires.
Yeah.
I keep calling vampire.
Vampire. And I feel like that's a topic that we should really dig into, is energy. I think we could do a lot on that. I want more of it.
You want more? Okay. We'll double down.
We're past my bedtime right now. This is an energy suck.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a really fun question, and I'm so curious about your answer. What are annoying habits of other couples. What are annoying habits of other couples that irritate you the most?
Okay, I'll do one and then you do one.
Okay.
But I feel like it's going to be the same one.
No, I don't think so.
I think the one that bothers me, like irritates is the wrong word, but I am uninterested on social media when couples post like, we've been together for 10 years and our relationship has never been better, and this sort of this Pollyanna picture of their relationship that I know is bullshit. Those sort of, this couldn't be better. This sort of over the top.
I just want to turn that off. Sorry.
It's professional podcasting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like when I don't feel like it's sincere. It's the same thing. It's like what bothered me so much about Rachel Hollis when we started this whole thing was that she was over the top about her relationship. Yeah. And it's like there wasn't truth behind it.
They were like making out on the reg, y'all.
Yeah. That was, it's like too much.
Yeah. That is irritating. And it's not authentic, Mm-hmm. But I do feel like Instagram is not super authentic anyway. It's not, you don't get a good, for me, that's the hardest part about social media is everyone is having more fun than me.
Yeah. Wait, what's your, give me a habit of couples that you are annoyed by.
I think it's the same thing, but in real life. So, like, I'm totally annoyed when people aren't authentic about their relationship. And so they'll be like, oh, he's so hot, he's so great, he's so hot. And it's just like...
Wait, you don't say that to other couples?
I
assumed that was sort of a big part of what you said to others.
I do.
Good.
I do, but I find it irritating at the same time.
Yeah, they do it like you, yeah. Okay, I have more things that irritate me that couples do. Okay. I don't like it when it feels like and this is, I guess, not a couple, this is just like sort of a personal dynamic that I don't like. And this comes from you, which is the rule is in social interactions, you should be either interesting or interested. And it's hard when you're having like a interaction with a new person or with a new couple, and they are neither interesting in as far as their willingness to talk transparently about what's going on in their life, or interested in learning about what's going on in your life. And so you sit there and you sort of, the sort of the default thing is we talk about our kids, which becomes, to me, boring.
It is so boring. Why? Baby food,
that's your
diapers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I also don't like when, couples openly have, like, a tit-for-tat relationship. I think that irritates me, too. Do you think it's because I'm jealous of that?
Because you want a tit-for-tat relationship?
I don't know.
I think it's a bad idea. I can tell you that when I used to do couples counseling, I think the idea of constantly, saying, I did the dishes and I made dinner, so therefore you have to put the kids down, right? Constantly, you're turning your relationship into a gigantic ledger, I think is a bad way to go about it. And sometimes when relationships are really bad off, I have recommended that they record who's doing what because there's so much conflict around it. But I think if you can, you want to avoid that kind of relationship because it becomes about work done versus your actual connection.
But then we get into the emotional burden of women. And sometimes they really need that ledger,
Yeah, I think
this is a hard topic. What are some annoying habits that they have?
Do the last one?
What is the best relationship advice you've ever gotten?
Do you want to go first?
No. I'm not ready.
Is your question? You're not ready? I think the best relationship advice that I ever got, probably I didn't receive from like a family friend or anyone, but was from John Gottman, who has suggested that John Gottman is a very famous therapist, psychologist. He he has a lab at the University of Washington, or now it's outside of the University of Washington, but it's called the Love Lab. Well, he will bring in couples and they will live inside of this lab for a weekend, and he has been able to predict, I believe with 96 or 97% accuracy, whether or not a couple will be together 7 years after coming to this lab. He can watch their behavior and identify key interaction styles and be able to say that's not going to work and that is going to work. One of the things he says is that the conflict you have in a relationship, the conflicts you have are often the same conflicts. 60 to 70% of the conflicts you have, they just happen again and again and again. So when you marry someone, what you're really doing is it's less about do you love them and think that they're great or that you're attracted to them. It's really about can you tolerate that issue, whatever that conflict is, over and over and over again. And to him, the ability to navigate that friction in a positive way really is what makes a relationship work, or it's a key component of it. So going into my relationship with you, we're thinking about whenever we have conflict, thinking about it like this is the part of us that we're always going to have to deal with, and being comfortable, like you're not going to just resolve it and never have a conflict, never have a fight in a relationship. So I think that's an excellent way to view it.
I don't want to fight about the same thing over and over again.
Then you should just change.
You should change. It's your fault.
I know.
Anyway.
Wait, you're trying to move on. You have to have one. What's the best relationship advice that you got?
I think the best relationship advice I've gotten is, it's so sad, but like really it's sad because their relationship is over, which to me like almost negates the advice, but I think it's good. Like being intentional about your relationship and saying like, I want an
Who are you talking about?
Rachel and Dave Hollis. I want an exceptional relationship. And so like, it's a goal. I'm going to work towards that every day. Yeah.
That's good advice. Like setting the standard that you want your relationship to be great versus, just being a partnership to get your kids out of school.
Like your dad, David's dad said the pinnacle of my life. He'll think it was so funny. The pinnacle of my life is marrying my son. You married my son. And like, I hope that's not the pinnacle of my life. So I hope that every year gets better than the last year. And I think that is the best advice, is that like you want every year to be better. You don't want the best part of your relationship when you were 19 years old. David and I met when we were 19. At 19. I would hope that now, 20 years later, that wasn't the best part of our relationship.
Well, Dad, you made it to the video. All right, I think that's all we have, right?
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.